Hello from Rio de Janeiro! This was our first stop in Brazil, and we were very excited to check out the top attractions, sample Brazilian cuisine, and squeeze in a little bit of beach time. We had an action-packed week exploring the different neighborhoods and trying everything from churrasco to brigadeiro, so we decided to film a city guide along the way. This video will showcase 25 things to do in Rio de Janeiro. Now let's get to it!
First up, we started with the city's most iconic site, Christ Redeemer. We boarded the train as soon as the station opened and made our way to the top of Corcovado Mountain. Sometimes the statue can be shielded by fog, but we lucked out with beautiful blue skies and panoramic views of the city as far as the eye could see.
So this afternoon we are visiting the Ipanema Hippie Fair. Unfortunately, it was a bit of a rainy Sunday, so it's not too busy, but we're still going to take a stroll and see what we can find. This is a great place for souvenirs. The Ipanema Hippie Fair takes place every Sunday between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. at Praça General Osorio. Here you'll find everything from beaded jewelry and hippie pants to leather sandals and street food. As you can imagine, Sam had no problem sniffing out the street snacks. So Sam is having a cocada. Can you tell us what that's all about?
Yes, so it's basically shredded coconut mixed in with sugar in this kind of like patty type cake.
Ooh.
Oh, it's so sweet.
Is it?
So good, and the coconut is so fresh. I love this.
Look at the detail in that. Ooh, yum. Now it's my turn. Share. Sharing is caring. For a bit of color, we headed over to the Selarón steps, which is a tiled staircase created by Chilean artist Jorge Selarón. Initially, Selarón would scavenge construction sites looking for tiles, but in later years, as his work gained notoriety, travelers began donating tiles from their home countries.
The Museum of Tomorrow opened its doors on December 2015 and it has been drawing big crowds ever since. This is a museum of ideas that focuses on sustainability and ways in which we as humans can create a harmonious coexistence in the future.
This morning we are doing a bike tour of Rio with Rio by Bike, and it should be a really fun way to see some of the main attractions. If you want to see a lot of Rio de Janeiro but you're pressed for time, a biking tour with Rio by Bike is a great option. We covered the neighborhoods of Copacabana, Botafogo, Flamengo, Gloria, and Centro, with lots of cool stops for pictures, refreshing coconuts, and anecdotes along the way. Our guide knew the city like the back of his hand, and his excitement for Rio de Janeiro made the outing a lot of fun. And because we enjoyed our bike tour so much, we also ended up doing a favela tour with the same company. For this tour, we met in Leme, and then our guide took us up to Babylonia and Chapéu Mangueira. On our tour, we saw lots of street art, learned about the intricate workings of life inside a favela, and then capped things off with a beer at a local establishment.
Next up, if you enjoy hiking, you'll be pleased to know that there are lots of great trails in Rio. We hiked up Chapéu Mangueira Hill and were rewarded with great views and vultures.
So it is our very first lunch here in Rio de Janeiro, so we thought let's go for the classic grill. We are eating at a churrascaria, and I'm probably making that sound a little bit more Spanish than Portuguese, but basically it's a grill house and you just eat steaks and meats. And the waiters are going to be coming around to the table with like these giant rotisserie sticks, and they just basically slice the meat onto your plate. So pretty cool. We're paying a fixed fee, a flat rate, and that also gives us access to a salad bar, and we get sides and free non-alcoholic drinks. So we're going to be eating lots of food today, basically.
Sounds good to me.
So I think this is quite clever. At the table, they leave these little cards, and basically you can flip it if you're full and you no longer want any meat. You just show the red side, and then if you do want more meat, you show the green side, and you just leave it like that. And the waiter comes around and he just keeps bringing you different cuts.
So we're nowhere close to tapping out yet.
We've just started.
We've just
this
begun.
has just begun.
Alright, time to try the meat. Start of the meal. Oh, that's good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice
really
and tender?
Nice and tender, and also really salty. You can tell they've added a lot of salt, but not a lot of other like seasonings or anything else. It's very simple. It's very simple, like dipping it in your salt. Nicely cooked too. It's a little bit pink in the middle.
That's cool. That way the flavor of the meat can really shine through.
Exactly.
They have come around with meat probably like 5 or 6 times. Give us a status update. How are you feeling?
Status update is I'm feeling very satisfied in terms of the taste, and man, am I ever getting stuffed. I think I've hit my quota. It's time to flip over to the red card.
Since we chose to stay in the neighborhood of Ipanema, we ended up spending quite a bit of time at Ipanema Beach. We noticed that this beach was really popular for beach football, volleyball, and surfing. And of course, what makes this beach so iconic are its 2 mountains known as Dois Irmãos. If you come here on a clear day, you can catch a killer sunset. So next up, we are going to visit the Metropolitan Cathedral here in Rio, and it's a pretty unusual building. Like normally you have these colonial structures, and this is just like a concrete pyramid in the middle of the city. So really strange.
It's really bizarre, but it's also quite unique, so let's go check it out.
Let's go. Since we had a lot of rain on our visit, we spent our days visiting museums, including the National Fine Arts Museum. This museum focuses on Brazilian art from its early beginnings to contemporary times, and it was a nice way to spend an otherwise wet afternoon.
After a bit of museum hopping, we headed over to the Municipal Theatre for a closer look at this beautiful structure. The building dates back to 1909, and it was inspired by the Paris Opera.
Colombo, and this place is considered one of the 10 most beautiful cafes in the whole world. And if you just take a look around me, it's kind of like a French Belle Epoque style with Art Nouveau. They have these huge mirrors that came all the way from Belgium, and it just feels like you've traveled back in time here. Also, they've had a lot of really distinguished guests like kings, queens, presidents, so I do feel pretty special sitting here.
Queen Elizabeth has come here, and apparently almost all of the Brazilian presidents have frequented here at some point in time.
Pretty popular spot.
Indeed.
So this video is going to be all about a popular Brazilian dessert known as brigadeiro, and this is the classic form right here. So I was asking our waiter about it, and he basically said it's milk and chocolate kind of like cooked over very, very low heat, and then you let it cool down and harden, and then you basically scoop it up with a spoon, make it into little balls, and then you roll it in chocolate sprinkles that you can see over here. So that looks super decadent to me.
So friends, this is for chocolate lovers.
Oh yes. So I'm going to dig right in. Oh, look at that. It's almost like a thick fudge. Like, I don't know if you can see the detail here, how I pulled it out, but it's so thick. Man. Wow.
Decadent?
Oh my god. It's almost like peanut butter, like that same texture, but it's all chocolate. I can see why they give you very small amounts of it, so it's just like, you need to chew it slowly and savory, but so good.
Is it really sweet too?
That's good stuff. No visit to Rio de Janeiro would be complete without heading up Sugarloaf Mountain, so when the skies finally cleared, that's exactly what we did. We paid for our tickets and boarded the cable car for a somewhat unnerving ride up. If you're scared of heights, this probably isn't the attraction for you. However, if you manage to make it to the top, you get some really cool panoramic views of Rio de Janeiro. afternoon we are visiting the Botanical Gardens here in Rio, and it's a pretty nice escape from the hustle and the bustle of the city. So yeah, we're just going to be taking a stroll and checking out some cool plants. Does it work? Oh, the fountain's broken. Oh no, there it goes, no. There it goes. There we go. Do you dare have a drink? Do you think that's what it's for?
I don't know what it's for.
Let's just enjoy the sight.
The Rio de Janeiro Botanical Gardens sit at the base of Corcovado Mountain. The park is 140 hectares in size and it showcases the diversity of Brazil's flora and fauna. It is super quiet and it feels miles away from the chaos of the city.
This is a bit of an unusual attraction, but if you're in Botafogo, the São João Batista Cemetery is worth visiting. It houses intricate graves and mausoleums, and it is also the final resting place of Brazilian presidents, aviators, poets, and celebrities, none better known than Carmen Miranda.
Copacabana Beach is the most famed beach in all of Rio de Janeiro, and if you were to visit on a weekend during the summer months, you'd find that the place is packed beyond belief. We happened to be here in winter, so things were a lot more relaxed, but that didn't stop visitors from braving the waters.
The beaches in Rio are lined with food and drink stands, so if you're feeling parched, just walk up to the promenade and order yourself a refreshing coconut like Sam did.
Another spot you shouldn't miss is Lagoa. This neighborhood is home to a giant lagoon where people come to picnic, work out, rollerblade, skateboard, and rent paddle boats. The lagoon is encircled by a walking and biking path that is 7.2 kilometers in length.
Voila! So of course we had to go to Casa do Pão de Queijo, and that means the house of the cheese bread. And over there they specialize in these little like bread cheese balls, and they are amazing. I used to eat these as a kid when I used to visit family, and they are so good. This is like my favorite Brazilian
I know,
snack.
they're super tasty and you can find them almost everywhere. I mean, this is embarrassing to admit, but we've even had them at McDonald's here.
For breakfast, you can get coffee and pão de queijo. So let's just dig right in. I'm gonna grab one of these. So I have to admit, these are best when they're like fresh out of the oven, and we've had these in our apartment for a few hours now. So they're not warm anymore, but they're still a little bit gooey inside. I mean, it's getting kind of dark here, so I don't know if you can see that, but it's like really cheesy and ooey and gooey and just oh so good.
So the key ingredient for these paus de queijo is the cassava flour.
Yes.
That's what makes it sticky inside, and then of course the cheese too.
Ooh. Aren't they so good?
Oh, good. You can just eat them by the tens.
Yeah, and you know what? If you want to make these back at home, you can actually pick up a bag at the supermarket of the powder and you mix it yourself.
We have to do that.
Yeah, definitely. Praça Mauá is a plaza located in the center of Rio de Janeiro, right on the edge of Guanabara Bay. It's a really cool place to hang out on weekends because you'll find street performers, food stands, some live music, and an overall lively vibe.
If doing a guided biking tour of Rio left you craving for more, you can always rent a bicycle to explore on your own. The entire coastline is lined with bike paths that connect one neighborhood to the next, so it's a great way to explore the city.
We've been taking taxis so far, but we have decided it's time to try local transportation.
Exactly. So I've got the Metro Rio Prepago card.
Yeah.
It's super easy to get. What you do is you just load it up, you charge some money on it, and it takes it off naturally as you go. So This is a great way to get around the city.
All right, let's go ride the Metro. Let's go. lunch video is going to be all about black beans. We are at a place that specializes in feijoada, and that's kind of like a black bean stew. So everything we're going to be trying here, from the appetizers to the mains, is going to have black beans in some component. And this is something that you really find a lot in Brazilian cuisine, so looking forward to sampling that. Here, and we have a nice selection. Just have a look. Lots of different pots and things happening. So I'm just going to serve myself.
Wow, that's a lot of food.
Yeah, so we're going to start with a base of white rice that I just spilled all over the table. But white rice is one of those things that is never missing at the table when you're in a Brazilian home. And on top of that, I'm going to put my feijão, which is the black beans. Black beans on its own.
Ooh,
and good. In the next one here, you have the feijoada, which is the black beans and the meat. So this is like a bean and meat stew, and it has different cuts. And it's a mix of pork and beef. So I'll grab some sausage. Let's start with that. And
that looks good.
Oh, there's more over here. So I'm gonna grab some manioc.
Yep.
I think that's the English name for it. Some greens.
And then over here we have, what's this one?
Ooh, okay. So the powder is farofa, which is kind of like a manioc flour. So you want to be careful with this because it's really easy to choke on.
You know what? I think that's the one I tried on its own, and I didn't enjoy that much. But I think it's going to be pretty good with beans.
It's very dry. Yeah, and this apparently is fried pork skin. I think that's what I understood. So
looks like a puffed cracker.
It does. I've never tried fried pork skin. Not sure I'm gonna like it, but let's get started, shall we? So it is now Sam's turn. Time to dig in.
Yeah, time to try it for the first time. So I've got the meat here, I've got the beans, and I'm gonna make sure I get a bit of the rice too. Yeah. Time to try that feijoada. It's a big piece of meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's very salty, and it does have a lot of flavor considering that it's just a bean dish.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really high quality beans, a lot better than most of the types of beans I would eat back home in Canada, for example. A lot more flavorful. But yeah, it's simple food and it's tasty. I can see why it's popular here.
We should also mention that we kind of tried to play it safe with the meat in our feijoada, because on the menu we saw they had like pig ears and pig feet and intestines and just different cuts.
Yeah, we could have gone all out, but we played it safe today.
Yeah, we were like,
we have a flight tomorrow,
maybe just beef and sausage will do.
Known for its legendary nightlife. You have a lot of different options. You can go out for samba, you can go out for bossa nova. We're doing the more tamer option of just hanging out in our local neighborhood bar here at Ipanema, having a beer and the national drink. But there's so many different areas you can check out. One of the most famous areas is Lapa.
Yeah. Alright, so this is my caipirinha, and this is Brazil's national drink, so you just have to try it when you come here. And the caipirinha is actually made with cachaça, which is a distilled liquor made from sugar cane. So I hope it's not too strong.
Potent!
Yeah, it's like sweet but really sour from all the limes. Yeah, it is a bit strong, to be honest. Yeah, I wouldn't call it refreshing. It kind of burns on the way down. You want to try it? Maybe it's more of a manly drink. First time trying caipirinha, what do you think?
You know what, it's not nearly as strong as you think. I just think you're not used to these kind of drinks.
I'm wimpy.
Yeah. And that is a wrap. We hope this video will give you guys some ideas of things to do in Rio de Janeiro on your visit. And for those travelers who have already been there, feel free to add your suggestion of cool activities and attractions in the comments below. For more travel videos from around the world, be sure to hit subscribe.